Hey babes, my name is Nalani and today I'm going to show you guys what's in both my clinical, work, and nursing school bags. If you are wondering about my credentials, I am a Derm MA, I am a PCT at a med-surg unit at a local hospital, and I'm also a licensed esthetician. So a lot of the things that I do use will be skin and, body focused. Obviously, if that's not your cup of tea, you use what works for you, but here's what I use personally. This is going to be a hopefully pretty short video. I just wanted to show you guys what I use. On my TikTok, I did make a previous video about what I keep in my book bag. I've updated a lot of things since then, so I wanted to give you guys an up-to-date video about it, especially a longer one here on YouTube, so I can explain to you why I use what I use. First things first, we're starting off tame, Stanley Cup, or any water bottle for that matter. I swear, I was not a Stanley girl. I didn't want to use a Stanley. I thought it was stupid. But this definitely keeps my water cold. On clinical days or days where I'm working at the hospital, I am running around and by that point I'm kind of sweating and hot. Having a cold drink and knowing that it's cold when I get to it. This bag is my clinical and work bag. It has multiple pockets surrounding it and it holds a lot even in the inside. I would not use this bag for school because I have more things that I carry in it. And although it's pretty compact and it holds a lot, it hurts your shoulder. This bag does not carry my Stanley because obviously, depending on the lid, Stanleys are not spill proof. So I don't suggest putting your water bottle in it. However, here are some things that I do keep in this bag that help me. I always keep some sort of petroleum jelly or Aquaphor in my bag. This is for my lips and skin just in case I get super dry or if I'm wiping my nose too much. I do wear a mask usually at work and during clinicals, so most of the time my face isn't exposed, but still during the winter season, flu season, where sickness spikes, it's so nice to have something to just put on your dry or cracked lips or your nose or anything. I also use it on my hands sometimes, around my cuticles especially, because when you're using hand sanitizer or washing your hands often, they get pretty dry. Highly suggest just grabbing some petroleum jelly. Next is the Essence rings. I've talked about these before on my TikTok, but if you don't know what these are essential oil infused nose rings. They come in little pouches like this. They have multiple scents, and I got these on Amazon. They are literally these little clear rings that you pop in your nose, and you won't be able to smell much of anything. They're very saturated in the smell, so I suggest picking one that you like. This one is particularly the immunity scent. I genuinely love this smell and I can't wait to try the other ones, but I've used this during a 12-hour shift at the hospital. When I tell you they really work, you do have to pop them back in every so often. If you're on break or something, I suggest putting them back in the pouch so that scent can kind of come back a lot stronger. But I had a patient with C. diff. Girl, if you know, you know. They really do come in handy, especially when you put a mask over top. Next is my foldable keyboard. Next is my foldable clipboard. This has a whole bunch of stuff on the back of it that you can use for review, as well as it just folds. I can slide it right in my scrub pocket. This was also on Amazon. If you are interested in purchasing anything that I list, it is all on Amazon. I'll try to link everything in my Amazon storefront, but for some reason it wasn't working. However, I will just link my cart in case you're interested in grabbing it. Next is my necessities bag. Now, I switched this bag back and forth from my clinical and work bag to my book bag. And it's imperative that I switch it because it has like everything in it. It is literally just a small Michael Kors bag. It has a ton of pockets, not only on the outside, but in the inside. First things first is pads. These are a must. I don't feel like I have to do too much explaining. And I also just keep one tampon. I don't use tampons, but just in case I run out of pads, it's nice to have something. These are the pH balancing wipes. You can get a small pack of these from Target, actually. Sometimes it's just nice to have an extra wipe or whatever, so I make sure to keep those on me at all times. And some lotion. I switch out my lotions and I try to find scents that are not too strong. As we do work in healthcare, sometimes you can trigger an allergy or an asthma attack. I don't want to be the one that irritates a patient whenever I come into the room. Next, I bring a razor. Don't ask, but I just bring one because even though we don't wear shorts or anything of that nature, Sometimes when you're out traveling, you notice you got a little mustache. Hey, don't, okay? These are not the best for your skin either, but I keep it because you literally never know. I don't know, you just never know. Next is some deodorant. I feel like this is a given. Don't have to do too much about that. I don't feel like I have to speak too much about that. I'm a sweaty girl, so I try to make sure I keep either the spray deodorant or the roll-on one. But please remember that certain hospitals do have certain protocols. So if there's anything that you can't bring, make sure to touch base with your clinical instructor or just your boss, period. This is the Skin Script Hydration Toner. This is a must, especially in the wintertime. And my face is dry because I done wiped all of my skincare off with the mask. I just spray this on me, like, you know, just to help to hydrate my skin. I do have pretty dry skin, so I wanna start off by saying that it's only oily in my T-zone, and especially in the wintertime around my nose area, I need more hydration. So petroleum jelly, Aquaphor, or, you know, the spray, it does it for me. I also bring my own masks. You don't have to do this, but during times where flu season is high, specifically, it's hard to find them sometimes. And if your hospital or nursing home doesn't stock correctly, it's nice to just already have it. That way you can walk in and you have a mask on. In addition to that, I suggest if you're working in a hospital setting or a nursing home, keep gloves on you, okay? Especially if you're a medium like I am. It is so nice to just have your own gloves and know where to find them. Next, I keep a sticky note. These are important because sometimes if you're doing vitals or something, obviously you have a paper you write your vitals on, but having a sticky note, as you can see, I doodled on it. But having a sticky note is nice because you can just make little updates in case you have to connect with a nurse or a charge nurse, so it's nice to have. Next, I have my marker. This is used for the board. If you work at a hospital, then you know what I'm talking about. Writing your name and updating your patient board is so important, especially because hospitals want to see you doing it. Highly, highly, highly suggest. Next, I have my light pen. Now, as a PCT or CNA, you don't have to use this. It's not really necessary, but I am in nursing school. A lot of my coworkers know that, so they try to teach me certain things, which I absolutely love. So sometimes if you just are prepared and ready to learn, they'll show you. I also bring another mini hand sanitizer. Obviously, in a medical anything setting, you have hand sanitizer, obviously. But sometimes you want a different smell. And when I'm leaving work and I forget or something, I just put it on just in case. Because sometimes I grab food or grab lunch, and depending on where you are, you need hand sanitizer. Highly suggest just having your own. Next, I have an edge brush and comb. This comes in handy if I have like a slick back and my hair is kind of like starting to come up, and I just quickly go in. I am definitely extra and I prepare. So if this is not your cup of tea, that's fine. But I highly suggest just bringing things just in case, because it'll be the days that you don't think you need it that you do. So next, I'm moving into more of school supplies, specifically things that I know that I use throughout a regular basis. First things first is my watch. Now, I got this from my school bookstore, but you can find a ton of them on Amazon. They also have some at places like TJ Maxx or Marshalls, so highly suggest checking those out. This one specifically is made for nursing. It has that kind of rubbery texture on the outside, so if you spill anything or any fluids get on it, it's easy to wipe and disinfect. Some schools and jobs do not allow you to have Apple Watches, so no, why the would you come up here to pee? I don't understand her because she knows how to ask to use the bathroom. So why would she come up here to pee on the carpet? We have hardwood floor downstairs. If you have a puppy, then you know what I mean by sometimes they just test your patience for absolutely no reason. She knows she's not supposed to pee in here. I really don't understand. Okay, where was I? So the watches, they don't allow you to have watches all the time. So if they don't allow you to have an Apple Watch, these come in clutch. Moving on, I bought a blood pressure cuff, a manual one. I just prefer to have my own, especially in class. A lot of the time in class, they will have a lot of sizes, and sometimes there's not enough to go around. So I bought my own cuff because I don't want to be the only student with a large blood pressure cuff, and now I can't read it properly because they don't have the size I need. I know that sounds stupid, but If you know how to take a manual blood pressure, you know that depending on the patient's arm, you have to have a specific size. If not, then it'll read kind of wonky. And I know that there's been a few times even in the hospital where they don't have the right blood pressure cuff. Sometimes it's so clutch to have if you know how to read a manual BP, so that works. In correlation with that, I have my stethoscope. This one is the Littman 3 stethoscope. This is the one specific for my school. So before you go and buy anything, mind you, these are on Amazon. They're around $100 or so. But before you get anything, make sure to check in with your syllabus and your school to see what they specifically ask for. This is the raspberry color if you're interested. And I love this one. I know you're not supposed to wear it around your neck, but it makes me sad because this is so cute. I keep it in this stethoscope case, which is also that raspberry pink color. And I also make sure to keep other pen lights in here just in case, because they break easily depending on where you get them. I also got those off of Amazon, and my grandmother actually purchased all of this for me, and she's just the cutest. But yeah, this is all from Amazon. Next, I have my favorite pens. Now, these are from my school bookstore. I don't know if they're anywhere else, but you can find pens like this on Amazon, other places. Next, moving into my book bag. I've talked about this book bag on my TikTok before, and this one I love because it has so many compartments. It's dirty, I know. I probably shouldn't have chose like white. In my book bag, I keep my laptop. Now, I do have an Apple laptop. It's just a little bigger. I believe it's the 18-inch size. I can't remember what one, but it's the MacBook. And it's great, but it's heavier than this one. This one is more compact, and it also is touchscreen, so I'm able to play with it like so. I like this because of how small it is, and it's a lot lighter than my Apple laptop. So on days where I do have to bring this bad boy in, these get heavy, especially if you're bringing your stethoscope and everything in there. Like, it gets pretty heavy. So obviously I have my textbooks in here, but my main thing that I fell in love with this year is a 5-subject notebook. Let me put you on and tell you why, okay? This notebook has 5 subject, like, little spaces. It's all separated by these cream colored little pages. These work so well, especially in nursing, because we cover multiple topics. And whether you're doing, you know, pharm or head to toe assessments, like, you can put everything how you want. Now, the good thing about this book specifically is you can find one where the pages tear away easily. So when you're done reviewing and taking notes, something I like to do is actually put them inside of a binder, and then I go in, further separate all of my notes by subject. And this just helps me stay super organized, especially note taking is a very serious thing. If my notes don't look cute, I won't go back and look at them. So it's imperative for me to organize everything based off of subject so that I can review whenever I need. And like I said, it's not just, you know, in a notebook. You can transfer it to a binder so that everything kind of, you know, is organized. I just personally prefer doing it that way. Next is my planner. This is my school planner, and I'm not going to show y'all obviously the front of it, but you can find super cute planners that are small and compact just like this. If you're not the type of person that likes to write things down, obviously this is not necessary, but I love writing things down. It helps with my memory. I do keep a log obviously in my calendar on my phone, but it is really helpful to write things down, color code everything, and that's why these pens are my favorite. Obviously, pencils and pens are a must. I also make sure to keep highlighters just in case. I most of the time just use my pencil along with my color pens, and I truly feel like it makes a big difference with my notes. If y'all want more info about note taking, I'm so passionate about it, so I will show y'all my notes and how I take notes specifically to stay organized. So if you're interested, let me know. Next is my school badge. Now, I hate the front of my school badge. The picture's so ugly. So I bought this SpongeBob one off a TikTok shop. I don't know where they have it anymore. I literally cannot find a link, but it has a reel, obviously, which stretches pretty long. And you can still take it out pretty easily, but this just has my school ID in it. And I just think this is the funniest shit ever. I feel like if you didn't know me and you know that, like, I'm already an esthetician, you wouldn't think I was going into aesthetics. Like, that's my nursing goal. You'd probably think I was going into peds. Next, I always keep a clip, lip gloss, and a hair tie with me. I'm just a girl, so Yeah, and sometimes, especially if your hair goes past your shoulders, in school and in work, you're supposed to put your hair up. But on wash days like this, on day one, where my hair is defined, I do not want to put it in a scrunchie. So clip. We are almost to the end, but this is the main thing. If you don't take anything else away from this video, please take away. Bring your chargers, bring your laptop charger, bring an extra charger, bring a phone charger, bring a watch charger if you're using it. I kid you not, there's been so many times where I wish that I just brought the cord. And there's times where like we're in class or like we're sitting in lecture and my laptop is about to die. Now I know you can like, certain places you can't bring certain things, but always have an extra charger, because even if you don't need it, a friend might. Or, you know, if God forbid the charger is broken at school, you're like, I got one. I'm telling you, it comes in clutch so often, and everyone will come up to me and ask, do you have a charger? Yeah, I do. Other little miscellaneous things that I keep both in my school and work bag is a hand sanitizer. I know that I talked about this before, but I keep multiple different scents just in case. Sometimes I'll leave school and you don't really remember if you've taken that final, you know, hand washing. So have an extra just in case, because let's face it, sometimes after school I go and grab lunch or, you know, food. Also keep a miniature spray. I do not want to be the person that causes my patient to have a, you know, asthma attack or something, but I do like to smell good, and there's days, especially on our cycles, where we might be a little sweatier. So instead of smelling like sweat, I just spray a little bit. This is the Pure Wonder from Bath & Body Works, and this is one of my favorites, including their vanilla scent. Love it. And in my personal bag, I also keep another lotion, because your hands get so dry using hand sanitizer all the time. And like I said before, it's just a plus to have, but try to find scents that aren't super strong. Vanilla is one of those scents, for me at least, that's not super duper strong. This one specifically is from Target. It's the Beloved brand. And I think that this one is not super strong like Bath & Body Works ones. So if you're looking for one, Target is a really good place to check for travel size lotions, sprays, things of that nature. And I also keep an extra badge reel. I got this one from Amazon. It came in a pack of 3, and it's just good to have. Sometimes these snap or break, or sometimes you just want to change them out, you know what I mean? So it's really good to have just an extra one. If you have any questions about the scrubs that I get, or my shoes, my socks, whatever you have questions about, please don't hesitate to ask them. I want to make a in-depth video about what scrubs I use and everything that I use for my day at work or clinicals and at school. So if you're interested in seeing that, don't hesitate to reach out. But that is it for today's video. I hope you enjoyed. And again, if you have any questions at all, I'm more than happy to answer them. If you haven't already, you can check out my TikTok that does a smaller overview of what we talked about here today. And yeah, thank you so much for watching. Subscribe. I'm new to this, okay? Bye.